Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Up, Download. We are so happy to be back. We have a conversation to finish from last time. We were talking about the games that made us, and it just turns out that there's so much to talk about.
There really is. Like, there's so much that I forgot about. I spent the entire, week and a half that we haven't been recording thinking about all the games because obviously I was thinking about them leading up to episode 1, but I was thinking about all the ones I forgot about, right? All the ones that I just and I was thinking about them even after we were right after we recorded episode 1. So there's just a wealth of more bullshit we can talk about.
Exactly. Yeah, because I kept finding myself thinking of there was that and there was that, and for a second I was thinking, I should probably write these down, but then no, then we'll have to go on to episode 3 if I just keep...
Oh my god, truly. Truly.
So we had gotten up to the point of high school, but I think what truly started to develop you and I as people were kind of the games that we've discovered over the last 5 years. When we got to college, we found our friend group together, and all of the games that was introduced to us in college that we had never experienced before. What would you say are some of those games that kind of started defining that era of your life?
Oh my god, yeah. So it was crazy. So when I got to college, we befriended our friend group, and very quickly I realized, these people play games. They play games. And it was very clear because we started playing D&D and stuff like that, in-person RPGs. But at the same time, I realized that, we're playing video games, right? And so I had kind of abandoned... It's interesting. I had a kind of a strange experience in middle school where I played video games constantly. I played everything from Xbox right to online poker. There was it's actually kind of a funny story. I'll tell it another time on the podcast. But there was a short period of time when all I did was play online poker because I was so depressed in middle school. Which is, I can laugh at myself because, I was the one who was depressed. Anyway, but there was, when we got to college, I very quickly realized that, the people that we were hanging out with, they played RPGs. These people played RPGs. And I remember, so the first RPG that Clay and Trace had me sit down, and after a few months of sleeping on their floor, also a story for another time, the first game that they had me really play was Mass Effect. So it was crazy. So I had actually, interesting story, I had played Mass Effect before. I had played it when I was younger. But I never beat the game because I never upgraded my weapons. So when I got to Saren, the spoilers, whatever. The game's been out
for at least a couple years, I think.
A few years. But spoilers, the final boss is Saren. And when I got to him, I couldn't deal enough damage to get past his healing threshold, I think. And so I just quit the game. So I never finished it. I played the entire game when I was in middle school, I believe. The entire game. And then when I got to the final boss, I couldn't beat him, so I just gave up. And so replaying the game, a game that I kind of committed to a little bit in middle school, but really dedicated a lot to in college, was crazy. I feel there's a whole conversation here about replaying games that you played when you were younger. But it was amazing. I had the best experience ever. And I did every side quest. I 100%ed the game, and then I moved on to the subsequent 2 games, which I had never played when I was younger. And then that threw me onto the RPG path. I then played Dark Souls. I then played the next Dark Souls, and then I actually started with Dark Souls 2, which is interesting. But
I started with 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just talk about it now because fuck it. Why not? I think that Rain, one of our friends, Rain, has a theory that the Dark Souls game that you played first is your favorite Dark Souls game.
Oh.
Which I think is really interesting. So lots of like hardcore Dark Souls fans who played Dark Souls 1, that's their favorite Dark Souls game. But I started with 2, which I really appreciate because it's, I think, the general fan base's least favorite of the games.
Yeah.
And so starting with number 2, I got to really appreciate what's so great about 2. And I think I just have the most nostalgia for number 2. And then I played 2, then I played 1, which, oh God, it's so grueling. I played a wizard, which is the game on easy mode, and it's still hard. Since Fortress, I have nightmares about you. But then I played 3, and I had a great time with all of those. And but yeah, it was interesting going from in high school. I didn't play any games, basically. Like I don't know. I just kind of really
in the
leaned
grand
into
scope of things. Yeah, exactly. We had a couple that we stuck to, and that was like, yeah, we'll do this. But then we had rehearsals and stuff, and
exactly. Yeah, I'll play COD on the weekend with the boys. Homework. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Oh my God. Oh man. I'm happy that we're making a podcast about gaming because if I were making a podcast about, I don't know, academia, I think that I would be in poor shape.
I would have the worst case of imposter syndrome.
Oh my, yeah. I think that you and I both, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were in high school, we kind of skirted by because it wasn't very difficult. And then when we had to hold ourselves accountable, when we got to college, it was more difficult.
Just a little bit.
Do that.
Yeah. I distinctly
to any of our
remember
professors listening, don't.
Yeah, you can skip ahead for about 5 minutes, I'd say.
I'd recommend it.
I distinctly remember here's the issue actually, is that I don't remember much of my senior year of high school because I spent so much of it skirting by and working on videography projects. I was trying to make a game that wasn't good. It was for a project, and I literally remember just videography, that, and band. That's it.
Very interesting. I mean, that's getting onto a deep note. I'm gonna get really close to the mic and do some ASMR.
I love it.
I also don't remember much of my senior year, but it had nothing to do with the things I was doing. It had to do with my depression. I'm just all the jokes in this episode are going to be about my depression.
Well, honestly, for me, it was just because I was on acid the entire time.
I love that for you.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Did you know? Okay, so I didn't know this until recently, but did you know that God, this has nothing to do with video games.
Oh, it's fine.
Did you know that that depression can cause memory loss? I didn't know that. I mean,
why does nobody talk about that?
Yeah, I know. I mean, there are whole gaps in my memory from my senior year of high school and my freshman year of college that I don't have.
Oh, so I thought you were joking because one of the things I see the most is why don't people talk about that depression causes memory loss? And I see that all the time, and I think it's so funny because but yeah, no, it's absolutely true because like the last 2 years of high school are a blur. Early college years are a blur. I'm sure these last 2 years will be a huge blur in another few years. Let's see. It's gonna be, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I will remember it by the gaming milestones that I encountered along the way, honestly.
Yeah. Hey, look at you getting this back on track.
Not even a segue. Like, I'm dead serious about that.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like video games as an escape has been such an important part to me. And this last like week, I've been so busy that I've had some time to like pop on the Oculus and play some Beat Saber or something.
I've loved seeing those videos that you've been posting on Facebook, and I loved doing the Beat Saber when you brought it over. That one time, that was like the coolest thing. I've only used like an Oculus maybe like twice in my life.
Yeah.
And so I had such a good time, but I'm happy that you've been doing that. Carry on. Sorry.
Oh, it's been so much fun. No, I had never tried VR before I got this for myself last month, and I'm just so happy. Like, I love it. But yeah, no, I haven't gotten to play very much. I've been so busy. And I don't like that, because I like how much games can be just a experience. I can't think like I don't want to say escape again, but yeah.
I mean, I think that escape is the fine word. I think that, I mean, it's something that I think is talked a lot about when it comes to like RPG discourse that I see a lot on my RPG Twitter. Not that I have a Twitter for RPGs. It's just I'm on that side of Twitter. It doesn't. I'm being stupid. But that's something I hear a lot is like, oh, it's really escapism, like the activity of doing what we meeting up every week and doing something that has absolutely nothing to do with our everyday lives and just kind of unwinding. Some people use it as a relaxation technique. Some people use it, obviously to play games, to have fun and all that. But I think that, I think that there is nothing wrong with playing some video games to unwind. I think that that's definitely been a source of my relaxation in my life too.
Well, and for centuries, we hear people talking about using the theater as that kind of escape, about
that's true,
about like going and just being immersed in a wholly different world and just experiencing a story. We hear people talk about the same thing with TV and film and music, and it's completely the exact same thing with video games, especially with RPGs. And like, oh my God, like you saw all my tweets and so I was texting you about it. Since the last episode, I started and finished Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
And
you're going to have to like talk all about that. I think that's so cool.
I think that might be one of the most defining video game experiences of my life for years to come.
Wow.
The entire final act, the final 30 minutes. Oh my God, it's so cool. But literally in VR, it's very odd because you are literally becoming somebody. And also side tangent, what a time for Valve to finally abandon the silent protagonist trope than when you are literally being the person you are playing as. That's when they decide to abandon. It worked. It was fine. I just thought it was hilarious that was the time that they decided to abandon that premise.
So can you hear your own, like, the character's
you hear
voice
Alex
in your own ears?
Yeah. Alex talks, and there's I had the captions on. Not only that, but you wear a headset throughout, and there's a character named Russell that talks to you throughout the game as well, which is very helpful in some really scary moments, because it is like an adventure horror game. Like Half-Life has quite a lot of horror in it. And I don't know, Valve is so good. I'm so happy that they're back.
I am absolutely. I think that's the thing that like my inner Black Mirror terror about like VR and horror, the genre, I think is always flaring when I think about VR. So I'm always scared that, like, I don't know, something is going to go terribly wrong if I ever play like a horror game in VR, and I don't know, it's going to take over my brain and I will never be able to escape.
That's what I'm worried about when I see like people attempting to create like VR exoskeletons and stuff. Like, that's what worries me.
Okay, fuck that.
But
no thanks.
Yeah, I don't see. I wasn't really ready for as much of the horror in Half-Life Alyx as I thought I was, because like, I've played, I'm a Half-Life fan. I've played the other Half-Life games. I just wasn't expecting them to go as all in on the horror as they did in their first VR game, because there's your light is on your offhand, your non-weapon hand, instead of being attached to your head. So when you're looking around, when it's pitch black, you can't just look. You have to move your hand around, and you have to aim it. If you're too close, like you still can't see because it's a beam of light. Whereas in like Half-Life 2, if you got up against a wall, I think it was still a normal circle.
Yes, it definitely was.
It's freaking scary. And like just being in pitch black and hearing head crabs surrounding you and not knowing, oh my goodness, it's such a cool experience. But
oh man, I'm gonna have to the moment, honestly, I think it was this week I started looking up, all right, how much does a VR headset cost?
$300 for the cheapest Oculus Quest 2. $300. And I played Half-Life Alyx so my computer is wired into our modem, and there's an app called Virtual Desktop, costs $20 or $30. You buy that, you download it, then you plug your Quest into the computer and you turn on developer mode. So it thinks you are making a VR game or something, or an app. And you can do what's called side loading, and you side load a version of Virtual Desktop onto your Quest that lets it act like an Oculus Rift to your computer. Yeah. So your computer thinks you have a Rift plugged in, and so Steam VR works. And I had a couple crash issues where I think that was probably more my computer than the internet connection.
Sure.
And it was a great experience. The lab, Valve's like VR testing sandbox area was also really fun. There's like an Angry Birds-esque thing with spheres from, not spheres, with what are the spheres from Portal 2? They're like Wheatley, and there's the space guy, and they're what are they called? I keep thinking droid for some reason, but that's not it at all.
They're robots.
I think it might just be the sphere, actually. I think he's called the space sphere.
Sure, let's call him that.
I don't know. I'm stupid. But no, there's an Angry Birds with like a bunch of new personality spheres. Yeah, that's what they are. A bunch of new personalities. And it's so funny.
I love that. That kind of reminds me of, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
no.
That reminds me of last episode when we released it. I had such a hard time thinking about the Halo channel, Halo Waypoint. And then I got a frustrated text message DM from Ian Boyd Duncan saying it's Halo Waypoint. That's what you're thinking of. So just know, I think that if we have a dedicated listener base, they will correct us on anything we get wrong.
Yes,
and I think that is
so we don't need to spend too much time dwelling on it. Absolutely. I'm so appreciative that we have listeners also.
Me too. Oh my God. I was sorry. I'm going to just take a moment in the middle of episode 2.
You're 20 minutes in.
I'm 20 minutes in to say thank you for all of you who are listening. I'm thrilled. I mean, I know Sterling is too, but I mean, it's awesome to know that you guys want to hear our dumb takes and the games we played. I think it's awesome. So thanks.
Exactly. Yeah, it was really surprising with the I wasn't expecting like huge numbers or anything, but looking at Anchor after the last episode had bigger numbers than what I was expecting. I think we had something like 35 to 40 unique listeners when I was expecting like maybe 10.
I love that.
Yeah,
I'm so happy to hear that.
And of course, anybody listening here 20 minutes in, they're the real people that are listening, because most people will either get 5 minutes in or listen to the last 5 minutes to say, "Oh yeah, I did it."
Yes.
But I just I've jumped ahead a few years in that I'm talking about what I've played last week instead of what I've talked about 5 years ago. I had a very, very similar experience to you in terms of RPGs. It just happened a little bit later because like you became friends with like Trace and Clay and everybody. Well, we all became friends at around the same time, but they got you involved in gaming culture a lot quicker than I did. I think that had to do with like your show. Our first semester got done relatively early, and
exactly.
I think mine. Yeah, I think mine was after yours. I can't really remember what the timeline was.
I don't remember.
And it was odd because I got involved with Dungeons and Dragons first. That's the first thing they got me involved in. And that was, you and I were in our first game ever together. And I had played some, I had played some RPGs before. I'd played Paper Mario, Pokemon, Kingdom Hearts. There was a Mario and Luigi RPG. I think that had like Baby Mario and Baby Luigi in it for like the Nintendo DS. It was really fun.
That sounds great.
Oh yeah, and I played a little bit of Skyrim, but I got stuck. I think I might have encountered a glitch, but I didn't know it was a glitch. I think I just missed somebody telling me where I was supposed to go, and then I didn't get a quest marker for it.
Interesting.
But
would you like to know?
What's that?
My biggest, my greatest, darkest gaming secret.
You have not played Skyrim.
I've not played Skyrim.
I had a feeling.
Yes, I've never played it.
I think that's fine.
I own it actually, because Clay bought it for me.
That's right.
He's like, okay, you have to play the game, and I'm gonna. I will play it.
Didn't we leave it at our apartment or something? And then
it's at your apartment.
Yeah, exactly. It's at my apartment, and then because I think we just found it a few weeks ago when Clay was here, and we mentioned, no, that's Jacob's.
Yes. Give me my Skyrim.
Is it still here? I'll find it.
Definitely still at your apartment.
Okay, well I'll find it. I thought we brought it back that day.
No,
I'll find it and bring
it.
But I don't remember what happened throughout freshman year. I remember going back and replaying Skyrim at some point, but it was sophomore year was the year of gaming for me in college. That was the big God, because that was the year, Jacob, where we at a house set up
in one house,
in one living room, set up your TV on the right, my TV in the middle, and then our friend Trace had a TV on the left, right next to each other. We had 3 TVs sitting by each other with 2 Xboxes and my PlayStation. And y'all got me started on Mass Effect. I played Mass Effect on your Xbox. I played through the whole trilogy. Loved every second of it, even Mass Effect 1, because I hadn't had I hadn't been tainted by playing 2 and 3 first. I played Dark Souls 3, a lot of it, not all of it.
Yeah.
And no other Dark Souls games. Because I was terrible at it. I was awful at it. And so, I hear y'all talk about it a lot, and I picked up on quite a bit, but I love the aesthetic of Dark Souls, and I appreciate people that love Dark Souls. I am just too bad at it.
Well, and I mean, it's not for everybody. I'm currently trying to work my way through Sekiro. I don't know if I mentioned it last week or not. I think
you did. I think you did.
It's hard, and I'm not good at it, and I am close to quitting. I
quit at the giant ape.
I don't even think I've gotten to the giant ape yet.
Well, I think the giant ape might have actually been optional is the issue.
Oh God.
And but because of the way those games work is that like you start going down a path and you think you're on the right path, but it turns out that there was like a fork in the road that you didn't actually notice. And then you just went down the optional path or something. Yep. I could be completely wrong because I didn't read up on the game. I didn't want things spoiled for me. And then, of course, Jacob, you and I have a friend, Michael, who just rips through Soulsborne games.
Oh my God.
Like they're nothing.
Michael, if you're listening to this, Michael, you are unreasonably good at those games. You are. and I don't mean this in any offensive way whatsoever, but you are a Dark Souls savant. It is
scary,
infuriating.
Because so Sekiro, he came over to play Sekiro using my PlayStation, and there were times where I would be like, all right, oh, hey, you have this area coming up. I need to go to work. Just so you know, before I leave, keep an eye out for this thing. It might help you, because it had me stuck for a while, or something. And I'll go to work and I'll come back and he was like 2 hours past where I was or something.
Oh my God.
And God, he just blasted through it like it was nothing. And I don't get it. I don't get it. I wish I had that skill.
That's the thing. I swear. I think Michael should be a Dark Souls streamer.
Yeah. Speedrunner.
Anyway, but I was, gosh, but you were talking about oh yeah, that time when we all had all those 3 TVs, and that brought us to, I think, the culmination of that whole experience was when we all 3 of us played Mass Effect Andromeda at launch.
Yes, I remember the selfie in my car distinctly of us all holding up our copies of Mass Effect Andromeda, because the only reason we had done that was because we were leaving. Was it Memphis? Was that trip, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we were leaving for Memphis the next day. And so we're like, you know what? We're going to play all night. And then we're going to try to, and then we're going to be on the road to Memphis the next day for a week-long vacation. Yeah. And so, yeah, we played. I remember we at least played like two hours or something like that. And then like we woke up and played up until everybody was finally ready to leave. And it was, because I remember people were so disappointed with that game, but I liked it. I had such
a good time with that game. Yeah. I 100%ed that game like I did every other Mass Effect. I played every mission. I didn't. Okay, I say 100%ed. I didn't 100% the game. I didn't get all the achievements, but I played all of the content, is what I'm trying to say. And so I had such a good time with that game, and it makes me so sad that so many people had such a bad time with that game. Yeah, I know it was glitchy, and I mean, maybe the plot wasn't as strong as it could have been, or all of that. But I think that the gameplay was just so much fun, and I also think that, I don't know, maybe EA just has me whipped. Maybe they could. Maybe. I think I tweeted this out a little while back. But if they came out with like a Hanar dating sim, I would play it. I love Mass Effect so much.
I think a Mass Effect dating sim would be great, because then it's just Mass Effect but without the shooting.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is. Correct. Just the cutscenes.
It's a rated E Mass Effect.
Yeah, it is.
I guess with the cutscenes, it would be a rated T Mass Effect, but
yes, correct. Yeah.
No, because I completely agree. Like there were issues, and so I don't blame people for not loving their experience with it. And there was definitely problems with the fidelity of like the 3D models and stuff. But
for sure.
It was just getting to just be a space magician is so much fun.
Yeah. And it's also possible.
What's it called? I forgot what the magic's called.
It's called. Oh God.
There's too many games popping around in my head right now. I'll Google it while you finish your thought.
What was I going to say? I think I was just going to say, oh yeah, it's quite possible that like the whole experience was elevated to a much higher level for us because there were 3 of us in the same room playing the same game, trying to see I mean, what decisions did you make when you got to this point? Oh, what decisions did you make when you got to that point?
Yeah. Oh,
and it
it's
was so
important
cool
to know.
like kind of
When by the time we got to Andromeda, we had moved, like, you two moved your TVs into your room and I stayed in the living room just so we wouldn't spoil it for each other as we moved on.
Yes, we didn't want to spoil the game. Yeah, that was right.
Let's see.
Also, I will say, I really, really love the character creator in Mass Effect Andromeda. I think it's top notch.
I don't honestly remember it.
Go ahead. Well, give yourself a favor. Go back to maybe it's just because I haven't played a lot of games with character creators. Maybe I'm just like a character creator amateur. But I think that the character creator in that game was very cool. I bet Sims is way, way better, but
yeah,
whatever.
Oh,
it's their character creators.
Biotic is the.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Is
Biotic?
the ability, yeah,
is that right?
Biotics is the ability of some life forms to create Mass Effect fields. Oh, I didn't know those were called Mass Effect fields.
I guess so. I guess you're channeling the Mass Effect. The Mass Effect. Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
Wrong. This is dumb.
I know it's only episode 2, but people shouldn't expect much less at this point.
No, expect the minimum and you'll get it in return.
Damn straight.
Okay. So I don't mean to completely side rail the conversation, but we were talking about the games that we really got into when we got to college.
Yeah.
And I think that those had a really, really huge effect on us. But I just want to take a little bit of a step backwards. When I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot to mention, I believe, in the last episode, maybe the most important gaming experience of my life. And that is RuneScape.
Coolmathgames.com.
Coolmathgames.com.
No, I honestly, as this episode was starting, as you were talking about some stuff, I thought, RuneScape.
I don't know if I have told you about my RuneScape days.
No.
But I played so much RuneScape. I think I got like maybe half of my skills to 99.
Oh, wow.
I was a stupid high level. And that whole account is lost. It's gone.
What?
I started playing, I tried to play old school RuneScape, and I actually did. I think it was like 2 winters ago. I played like old school RuneScape for like a whole month. It was awesome. But I had to make a new account because my old account is irrecoverable.
Oh no.
And it makes me so sad because I had so much on it. But I think in a grander scheme, not just talking about like the levels that I got to, but I think that was my first and I think maybe only so far MMORPG. I haven't played a whole lot of other MMORPGs, but I loved that game. Yeah. And it was my whole middle school. And I'm sure that a lot of people can relate with that, but my God, I loved that game. And I get teary-eyed if I hear the right like note combination because of the music in that game. I swear to God. Mm-hmm. Nostalgia is such a strong thing.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm just talking in circles now, but man, it is hard to stress how important that game was to my youth.
I played RuneScape very briefly in late grade school. We made accounts, we lied, said we were 13. We played for like a few months, maybe. I don't even know if it was 2 months. It's a game that I've gone back to a couple of times. And then just last week, our friend Blaine, he got me started on World of Warcraft finally. I played.
Yeah, he's trying to get us all on WoW. I love that.
I played through the tutorial. I got up to level 10. A free account lets you get up to level 20. We'll see if I can afford a paid account.
Amazing.
I don't know if it'll be a while. I'll probably just hang out at level 20 for a while. But I think, yeah, that's the only two experiences with MMORPGs I have besides attempting to play Neverwinter once for a few minutes, and I hated it, and so I turned it off.
I will play WoW when I finish building my computer. For those of you at home, I'm building my very first ever gaming computer, and I'm very excited about it. I'm not as excited about the price.
No.
It's expensive. It's expensive.
Are you gonna try and wait to see if you can get a 30 series graphics card, or are you just gonna get something that's in stock?
I am thinking about getting a 3080, but I also don't want to sell my liver on the black market.
Oh, but that's the thing, is that the 3080s, the 30 series cards are like affordable.
They are. They're more affordable
compared to the 20 series. Yeah, because the 20 series costs like what, twice as much for half the power or something like that.
It's kind of incredible.
Yeah,
it's kind of incredible the leap that they've made. Yeah, I agree. I definitely am looking at a 3080. I have my eye on one. They also just announced. I think they just announced. Maybe it's been out for a little while. The announcement, or I don't know, but it doesn't matter. But there's a water cooled 3080.
Oh.
That.
Are you trying to water cool your computer?
I want to have the ability to water cool my computer in the future.
Gotcha.
And so that's actually why I got the case that I got. I got a clear case, which I'm really pumped about. But it'll be really simple to just disassemble the glass plate and put in some tubes. That's not.
Yeah, that's good, because
that sounds so simple, but it's not.
I've watched a lot of videos on water cooling and stuff, but it's good because I remember you mentioning that you wanted me to come help you put it together. And so, yeah, it'd be good if you want to wait on water cooling, because I've never touched water cooling in my life.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like that's just a bit too ambitious for my first ever rig.
Yeah.
Someday.
Which eventually is funny because, putting a computer together is just like a adult 3D puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I thought it was really funny when I put. So basically, I put my first computer together. Probably late. It was late high school, I think. It was either that was like the summer leading into college or something like that. And since then, it's just been changing out parts. The biggest change I made was at the end of sophomore year. I changed the case and a bunch of stuff alongside it. And so now there's not a single component in there that has that was there 5 years ago, but there's always at least one carried over from one build to the next. Right now, I think the only thing I have in there from the last build is my hard drive. But
that works out.
When I put in this new graphics card, I didn't plug in the power cable all the way. And I didn't notice this. And this was, I remember this day because I had finished plugging in the hard drive right as you had come over to record some voiceover stuff for a play that we were working on.
Oh, that's right.
And occasionally while using this computer, it worked fine, but occasionally the desktop would turn off and I would hear the Windows like doo-doo-doo, like you unplugged something. And I never knew what it was. And so finally one day I took it into the PC repair place. They charged me the $75 diagnostic fee. I go home, I'm chilling. I get a call like an hour later. The guy's like, "Hey, you didn't have your graphics card plugged in all the way."
Oh my God.
Damn it. But in addition, I also have LED lights in my case that I didn't know about. And he connected these LED lights for me and downloaded the software so I could control them. And now I have fancy
Very
LEDs.
cool.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a tangent, but yeah, it just goes to show how I can be a little bit stupid sometimes, but I at least know the parts.
It's funny. You may or may not know this, but I have a Razer headset which I really love. And when I got it, it came with the Razer Chroma software. And it's really funny because I have it downloaded onto this computer. This computer doesn't have LEDs. It is a very old laptop. So yeah. I just have this very unnecessary software downloaded onto this computer that I could probably should just simply delete. It's just taking up space, but I think it's actually, I think I kind of keep it around because I think it's hilarious. Just because it will have no purpose ever.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, because the software that controls Razer products, the lights and stuff, it doesn't take up that much space. So
no, it doesn't. It
might take up some memory, like your RAM, but that's
it would start every time that I turned on my computer, and I was like, why does it do this? And I figured out how to stop all of the apps and pages that would open up when my computer would start. And my life has never been better.
It saves so much energy and time. Yeah, I should do it too. But honestly, I don't turn this off enough. I turn my laptop off all the time, but my desktop that I'm sitting here recording at right now, it is a rare day that this thing turns off. Which is probably it's probably not a good thing.
Me.
It's probably not a good thing. I probably should turn it off more than I do. But I got to keep the Bitcoin mining going. I'm just kidding. I don't mind Bitcoin.
I was going to say, actually, I have a coworker. at the undisclosed place that I work at. You will all know where I work. It doesn't matter. But I at the place that I work at, he's talking to me about oh yeah, like every time we work together, he talks to me about his rig that he's got, and he is making he's rebuilding something right now, and he's just waiting on his 3080.
Does he have one ordered, or is he trying to order one?
He has one ordered.
Ooh,
I know. He has one ordered. But he came in, I think it was like 2 days ago, and he was like, my whole plan has changed. I need to make a whole another rig.
Oh.
I'm going to mine Bitcoin.
No.
And I'm like, no. But also, go you, dude.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, if you're mining Bitcoin, I don't see much of I see issue with buying and investing in Bitcoin just because of it's a volatile market that's not based on, I think it's based off of something in Austria, not even in America.
I am terrified of Bitcoin. All of crypto scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. And so it's like, if you're mining it though, if you're not putting any financial, then you're just making money, even if it's just like a few cents.
Yeah. He was talking to me about how as long as he is, if he's running it, he'll make, what was it, shoot, I was $3 an hour or something like that.
Here's the thing.
Just passive.
I could, I don't even listen when people say how much Bitcoin they'll make in an hour, because, they'll be making $3 an hour right now, but in about 6 hours, they might be making $1 an hour all of a sudden.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's that volatile.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, he was saying something like, "Oh yeah, in 6 months I'll have guaranteed $6,000." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever. You do you, dude.
Sure, have fun."
I admire his gusto. And I admire the fact that he's going to do it, because I think it's great.
And here's the thing I'm really upset with myself about, is that 4 or 5 years ago, I downloaded a Bitcoin wallet. I just got a new graphics card, and I was like, I'm going to figure out how to mine Bitcoin. And I'm going to try and figure out how to do it. Even if it's just a little bit, I know it's not worth much. If I had put in the effort to do just a little bit, then I would have been able to pay for at least a semester of college or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I could have paid off my student loans.
Considering that Bitcoin just hit I don't know what it just hit. It hit some sort of threshold. I feel so silly talking about this because
we know nothing about it. Yeah,
we know nothing about it. But
so
apparently,
here it is. It's currently
blowing up right now.
It is currently sitting at $34,779, whereas on December 28th, it was at like 26,000. So, literally, it has spiked in the last 3 weeks, quite a bit, but still. Oh, so anyway. That's probably why he came in then recently talking about Bitcoin is because of a recent spike. So what he doesn't know is that it's probably only going to go down from here, but we'll see what happens. We're not economists so we don't know.
We are not, and I say Godspeed to all of you Bitcoiners out there. You do it.
Have fun.
You do it.
Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. I was going to ask you if there was a huge, because I just shared my wonderful RuneScape memories. If I was going to ask you if there is anything that you just completely forgot about, because that's how RuneScape was with me. I was just completely forgot about it last episode. Is there anything that was just a huge part that you just completely skipped over last time?
So as I think about it, one of the games that I didn't talk about at all it wasn't a huge part of my childhood, but it was a big part, was Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. It was the first time that Luigi got a starring role in a video game.
Hell yeah.
And it was very cool. I don't think I ever beat it, much like most of the games I owned for the GameCube. I don't think I ever beat it. But it was a lot of fun. And I've been wanting to pick up Luigi's Mansion 3 that just recently came out for the Switch, but I haven't had the time to do that, or the extra money to do that with either, because there's always been other things I've wanted to waste my money on instead.
That's I don't mean to. I do mean to pause you. I was going to say I don't mean to pause you. I do mean to pause you. I do mean it. I've been looking at. I'm looking at Switch prices and
do it.
I want to.
Yeah, because there's so much good stuff coming out soon. There's so much good stuff already out. Here's a good memory. Junior year was the year that I lived by myself. There was, because I remember you and Trace helped me like move in the new couch. I think it was you and Trace.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. But up until that point, that was like 2 weeks into having this apartment. Up until that point, I had my bed. I had a desk in my bedroom, but in my living room, I had my TV sitting on the ground. I had a cable box by it. I had a router by that. I had a very ugly. My dad's listening to this. It was ugly. It still is ugly. I still have it, but I like it because my dad liked it. This like Argyle pastel chair that is still out in my living room. That is a scratch toy for Alphaba now. I still sit in it. Still,
isn't every piece of furniture a scratch toy for a cat?
Not for the cat. Just that one. It seems like.
Good.
And it's very comfortable, but it was a little ugly. But it had character, you know.
Yes.
But I had that, and I had moving boxes on either side of me and an empty bookshelf. And so it was literally me sitting in this chair surrounded by moving boxes with my TV on the ground and my Switch, playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because I had just gotten my Switch. And honestly, that was a great memory, playing through that entire game, just sitting there, and then playing through, maybe Super Mario Odyssey had just come out around then too. I can't really remember exactly. It was so much fun. Just waiting for school to start up and just doing nothing but playing my Switch in a furnitureless living room for so long.
Absolutely. Well, I think that, honestly, half the reason, okay, not half, but so much of the reason that I am looking at a Switch right now in 2020, what, like 3-4 years after the console has come out,
3, I think,
is still Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
That is how much that game is still held up. I mean, it's such a recent game release, but it is on like top 10s of all time. You know, I mean,
especially of the decade, at least 2010 to 2020. People,
yeah,
it's all over those lists, and I'm there with them. It was a great RPG experience. I was not a Zelda fan growing up. I bought a Nintendo 64 when I graduated high school, and I played Ocarina of Time for the first time then in 2015, 2016. And it was a great experience, but my God, Breath of the Wild did some really cool stuff. It came in, showed everybody, this is what the Nintendo Switch is capable of right now, but it's going to be capable of so much more as we learn how to utilize it.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful game, beautiful storytelling. I have become a huge Zelda fan since then. And honestly, yeah, I think it's well worth the purchase of a Switch just for that one game. Just like I think a VR headset is well worth the purchase just for Half-Life Alyx.
I love to hear that. That makes me so happy. All right, so all I have to do is buy a VR headset and a Switch, and then
a 3080 and
a 3080
and water cooling equipment and
water cooling equipment
and Bitcoin.
And God, there it is. We came back.
We came back. Let's get a half circle or something. What would full circle be? What did we Mass Effect?
Mass Effect, and then I have to buy.
And then you have to
Mass
buy
Effect
EA
Remastered.
Mass Effect Remastered's coming out.
That's right.
Yes. Also tomorrow.
So I like the idea of buying EA.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, I don't think it's an EA game, but tomorrow Hitman 3 comes out.
Is that right?
Well, from the day they're listening to it, yesterday Hitman 3 comes out.
Yes, of course. Yesterday, Hitman 3 comes out.
Yeah. And I've played a little bit of Hitman 2 on I think it was Game Pass or something. I really liked it. And so I think they're actually including a VR mode. I might try and pick up Hitman 3 for VR and see if it's any fun.
You totally should, and let me know how it works. I think that, God, I think that shooters have a really unique place in VR.
Oh yeah.
Or at least I
am
mean,
so bad at shooting in VR, but it's so much fun.
I have loved watching you play. God, what is that game where it's the bullets
super
move
hot.
when super hot? God.
Yeah,
that was the worst way of describing that game ever. But that game looks so cool.
It is. It was made before VR, but it was made for VR, and so it was one of the first games to become a VR port. And it's actually its own story in VR, actually, and it's. It's so cool. I actually beat it a couple days ago because I remember when I was playing when I was playing it around you, I remember I gave up because I started getting exhausted because you do move a lot. You are constantly getting down to the ground or dodging bullets or something. I got exhausted. If I had just stuck with it for another 10 minutes, we would have seen the end of the game.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
That's so crazy. I would like to note, for those of you listening at home, the times that Sterling and I were around each other recently, we were socially distancing. We were not making out. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we were
that.
very safe. We're very conscientious.
We were very safe
of current health issues.
And when we were making out,
yes,
I was wearing a mask.
Yeah, we had we had a mouth condom on.
God, stop it. This is wrong.
Any final thoughts you want to share with people before we go play Dungeons and Dragons like a bunch of nerds?
Oh, yeah. We're going to go play Dungeons and Dragons like a bunch of nerds. I would say, because today, I think this has nothing to do with anything, but Trump's gone. Yeah. Today's Inauguration Day. We're recording on Inauguration Day, so I'm excited.
We went through most of college most of college underneath Donald Trump. He has been the figurehead of our adult years, and we are moving into a new era today, the day that we record this.
Sure are.
And I, for one, am excited to not have to turn on the TV and hear insults being flung for no reason. So,
me too. I think that this is the political minute of the Up Up Down Low podcast.
We're going to have political talks often, talking about the business of the industry, at least, if nothing else.
Absolutely. Well, plus everything is political, so it's whatever. Yeah. But I think that it will be really nice, I think, to have a very boring president.
Yeah. Still going to pay attention. Still going to hold him accountable.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to put his name on a flag and fly it out front, but
sure
it's going to be boring.
I do have a Biden mask though.
Oh,
I have 2 Biden masks, and I really like them both because every time I go outside wearing them, I'm just a little afraid that I'm going to get hate crimed, but not really afraid I'm going to get hate crimed.
You just want the thrill of the hate crime.
Exactly. I want the thrill.
It's a terrible way for me to put that.
Yes. I as a white man, I am not in a whole lot of danger, but I do like knowing that I am, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm telegraphing my opinions in a way that might make some racist uncomfortable, and that is, if I can do one thing every day, I think it should be that, make racists uncomfortable.
I think that's a great way to live life, and I think that might be what the title of this episode should be. Just kidding.
Make racists uncomfortable.
That makes so little sense in the context of this episode.
But. In the context of this episode, we should run every episode through like a formula and see if have it pick one sentence. And just a random sentence throughout the episode, and just name that the episode.
Buy Bitcoin.
It has nothing to do with anything.
That's the episode. Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin.
All right, that's what we'll end it on. All right, remember to check us out. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at UpUpDownload. I don't know where you're listening to us, but remember we are available anywhere that you like to get your podcasts. If for some reason you think currently where you're at is not very fun, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Google, we're on Anchor. Tell your friends, share the love of Up Download with a friend. We'd love to have new voices join our community. Maybe someday we'll invite people onto this Discord server that we're currently recording on. That might be fun.
Yes. That'll be history.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us for the last hour or so, everybody. And take it easy. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.